Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and today we are going to continue Beast Quest, Claw the Giant Monkey. How you all doing today? Hope you're doing well. Chapter 7, Facing the Beast. When he had caught his breath, Tom glanced up into the canopy again. He was still wearing the helmet and could see that Claw remained sleeping, his limbs hanging like thick, hairy ropes from the branches overhead. The golden chainmail linking in, glinting in the sunlight. They were still safe, although there was no way of telling for how long. He wriggled back to the edge of the crater and watched as Elena stepped up to the first arrow. It bent slightly beneath her weight, and she struggled to keep her balance. Sorry, I'm not owl, so. Tom ran to the nearby tree and cut down a length of vine with his sword. He looped it around a tree trunk and threw the other end to Elena. It reached halfway down. If she could just get there, he and Silver could pull her up the rest of the way. Elena nodded gratefully up at Tom, understanding what he was trying to do. But first she had to get to the vine. Tom looked on with admiration. As his friend grasped the arrow above her head, then climbed on to the arrow just below, repeating this movement until she had reached the vine. Each time she took a step up, she reached down to retrieve the arrow she had left behind. Silver ran back and forth along the mouth of the crater. To Tom's relief, the wolf seemed to know that he should be silent. Soon Elena reached the vine and grabbed the end of it. Together, Tom and Silver pulled the vine up the side of the crater. Tom wanted to shout for joy as he felt the grasp of his friend's warm palm. "We did it!" he whispered fiercely. As he and Elena swiftly embraced, they were back together. But now it was time to face the beast and retrieve the golden chainmail. "If I climb to the trees," Tom said in a low voice, "I might take Claw by surprise. It's the only advantage we have." Elena nodded, her eyes wide and fearful. Tom walked to a nearby tree and tested it with his weight. It was the wrong thing to do. The tree groaned and started to sway. Then, to Tom's horror, its roots began to rise up from in the soft ground. "It's dead," Elena gasped, backing away as the tree began to topple. Tom grabbed Storm's bridle. Bridle? Helena grasped Silver's belt, and they all ran clear as the tree thundered to the ground. The sound boomed around the dark jungle. Then they heard a scream from the canopy. Claw was awake. "We just lost our advantage," Helena panted as she ran. Tom watched with awe as the beast leaped from tree to tree, screeching and beating his chest. "I still have to fight him, Helena," he said. "I have to get the chainmail." "I know," Helena repeated happily, but be careful." Tom tucked the golden helmet back into Storm's saddlebag, then gave Elena his shield. "Use it to protect yourself," he said, setting foot on the sturdiest tree he could see. Soon he was climbing high into the canopy, his sword swinging awkwardly by his side. Above him, claws chattered in fury, slashing out with his tail. One hairy black claw was holding on to the chainmail. The beast had realized what Tom wanted from him. Tom tucked behind branches as the beast's razor-sharp tail bristled towards him. Leaves and twigs ran down on the jungle floor. The tree he was climbing shook and shuddered grimly. Tom kept scrambling up, then tucked himself into the cleft of the branches and pulled out his sword, swinging it as hard once more. The cruel claw swirled towards him, then came. Blah! My mouth does not want to read today. It's a bad thing. The cruel claw swirled towards him. Then came a stroke of pure luck. The base of the branch on which Claw was standing broke away from the tree. Screeching, the beast fell through the leaves in a fury. In a flurry of matted fur and thrashing limbs. His face contorted with rage, but as he fell, he lashed out at Tom's branch. Tom's horde lurched as the branch splintered beneath him. Instinctively, he reached for the shield and remembered too late that he had given it to Elena. Tom fell after the giant monkey. His arms and legs flailing and landed on the bed of broken branches. On the ground, barely meters away from him. Meters away from him. Claw was lurching wildly from side to side, roaring with anger and making a clumsy retreat to the nearest tree trunk. But as soon as he leaped onto the tree, his angrily and strength seemed to return. His agility and strength seemed to return. Frustrated and exhausted, Tom prepared to follow, but before he could move, Elena grabbed hold of him. "Tom," she said, her eyes alight. "Did you see how Claw couldn't balance on the ground? I thought he had been injured in the fall," Tom said, as he gazed up at the canopy, but he seemed as strong as ever. "Elena, I don't know how I'm going to do this." "No," Elena said. He wasn't injured. It was his curved claws. They gave him no grip on the forest floor. You can't defeat him off the ground. We've both seen how he swings through the trees as if he had wings. But if you can somehow get him on the ground, then the fight will be even." I have an itch right there. There we go. Got the itch away. Tom glanced up at the beast. Elena was right. His curved claws were perfectly adapted for swinging among the treetops. Walking on the ground was another matter. But how could they coax Claw down to the jungle floor? It was impossible. Tom was exhausted now. He groaned. There was no way he could do this on his own. Dimly he heard Elder's voice in his head. "Don't give up, Tom. Have you forgotten the help you have with you?" Yes, he thought. I'm not alone. I have the great beasts of Eventia on my side. Without Sepron the sea serpent's help, Tom knew that they would never have retrieved the golden helmet from Cepha the monster squid. It was time to call on the help of another beast. And Tom knew exactly who he needed this time. The thought both thrilled and terrified him, for the beast was one of the mightiest in all of Eventia. Furno the Fire Dragon. And that was chapter 7. What's the book? There it is. There we go. Whew. This was a long chapter. And again, it's only been 14 minutes, so I guess I read fast. Thought I heard someone on my door. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this read through Beast Quest. And I hope I will see you in the next chapter. Furno Returns. Chapter 8. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.